Okay, so for my first bit of history, we are going to be talking about People versus Hall, 1854. Now, this is the people of the state of California versus George W. Hall, or People versus Hall. Now, this was an appealed murder case in the 1950s in which the California Supreme Court established that Chinese Americans and Chinese immigrants had no rights to testify against white citizens. Now, let that sink in just a minute. They had no rights to testify against white citizens. Now it gets better. This California Supreme Court ruled that the testimony was inadmissible, largely based upon the opinion that the Chinese were, quote unquote, a race of people whom nature had marked as inferior and who are incapable of progress or intellectual development beyond a certain point. Then it goes on to say, and as such had no right to swear away the life of a citizen or participate in administering the affairs of government. Now, this decision categorized Chinese alongside Native Americans and African Americans as lacking status to testify against European Americans in court. Yeah. Now, the ruling effectively freed George W. Hall, a white man who had been convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of Ling Sing. Now, he was a Chinese gold miner. And even though 3 Chinese witnesses had testified to the killing, he was acquitted. Now, in early 1848, gold was discovered in California, right? This led to the California Gold Rush, which we all learned about in school, where people from Mexico and China and all over arrived in California in search of gold. Now, white America has a long history of bringing foreigners or people of color into America to do the hard labor or, to do the work in order to advance the American economy or capitalism, right? Digging mines, building railroads, building city infrastructure and whatnot. But when the work is done and these workers become inconvenient to white society, they find ways to oppress or ostracize or deport them from the situation that white America created. And what's crazy is that it's still happening today. Now, this brings me to my next point, the idea of the perpetual foreigner, right? Now, this is the idea that a community or a race will always be foreigners or outsiders, regardless of being born in America, regardless of if you're a citizen, right? Now, we're made to feel less than or statistically insignificant. Thank you, Daniel Day Kim, for that bit of information. Because representation at our highest levels of government doesn't accurately represent the true diversity of America, right? And we're playing with a stacked deck. And I just wanted to thank Stacey Abrams for showing us that voting works. If we show up, change can happen. Asian Americans are here. We're not leaving.